All right, guys, welcome to the THL. I got Ryan Urbanski here with me today. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
You know, scratching out a living.
Hey, I know that's right.
How's the office coming along?
Amazing, man.
Yeah. When's your grand opening?
It's going to be May 2nd.
May 2nd. And Sean's coming up?
Yep. Sean is coming up. You're going to be there, man. I'm super excited, man.
You've seen some of these grand openings, right? You're going to have Tenali cook?
Well, she wants to. Hey.
You should definitely let her cook because she's definitely can throw down in the kitchen.
I was going to say, people aren't going to want to leave.
No. You'll get them to stay longer, though. That's a good thing. All right, so congratulations on that. We're excited for May 2nd. It's looking good.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate all you do for us, man.
We don't do anything. We just kind of watch y'all work, which is pretty cool. Can you go a little bit of background about yourself? I know some people know you, some don't. What you came from industry-wise, how long you've been with Family First Life, and then we'll get into Family's Help and what you're tracking for this year, personally, team-wise, all that good stuff.
Absolutely, Frank. I appreciate you having me on this call, man. I just love everything you've done. It's paved the way. You know, you, Sean, Mike, all you guys, your work ethic, it's just rubbed off now. Made us want to give back. So before I even started this, Frank, I was in law enforcement.
Right. I
was a police officer for 7 years. No sales training, just a heart to serve, which is obviously why I got into law enforcement, because I wanted to help people, wanted to make a difference. It ended, I got hurt on the job, and had some medical complications that took me out from the streets for quite some time.
Can you go? What happened, actually? Can you tell the story? Because it's
yeah, so
I like it's pretty badass.
Yeah, so I mean, I worked midnights, and about halfway through my career, I used to work days, and then I went to midnights. So midnights is where all the action happens.
Right.
Everybody drinks and does stupid stuff, and
right.
That's where a lot of crime is at. So I was working a midnight shift, and a gentleman was trying to commit suicide with a shotgun, and I was the only officer there.
Where was that? Because he's your partner, right?
I know. Well, it was a busy Friday night, like busy.
Oh, snap. Okay.
And I mean, my closest backup was probably about 25 minutes, which is for where we are located in the northern part of the county is pretty far.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt.
When it happened, bigger guy, stronger.
Yeah.
At least at the minute.
Right. Yeah.
So
no
my
doubt.
adrenaline started kicking in. And then, I was able to bring him down, and I tore my shoulder. But the thing is, like, I really relate, the adrenaline dump that I had with this business. Like, there's definitely times where, you got to stop thinking about the pain and just push through, because that's
right.
life. So when I got hurt, I continued because I didn't have a choice.
Sure.
I didn't go to work. I didn't work the overtime. Our lifestyle, me, my wife, my children, were going to take a drastic dive. So I depended on that. And income got cut back significantly. And then I just couldn't continue on. I had to go see a doctor.
Yeah.
So 6 days after surgery, I couldn't breathe. I've never, besides church, I can't say I've ever been on my knees. Besides,
Right.
Well, I've been on one knee, when
right.
you're married. But no, I was on both knees, man. Having a hard time breathing. Not really sure what was going on.
Right.
The wife took me to the hospital. Realized that I had a blood clot that went to my lungs. And I was about
snap.
6 hours away from not being here.
From the surgery?
Mm-hmm.
So, jeez. So I just have my knee operated on. And they're like, wear these socks, put these like they give you these machines you put on your ankles and it squeezes it. And they want you to sleep with them on. They're like, you need to wear these socks for 2 weeks and this machine for 7 days. I'm like, I wore it for a day and a half. I'm like, I'm not wearing this. That's freaky. But Jamie's like, blood clots are real. I'm like, nah, I don't believe it, right? That's pretty, and I'm young.
Yeah.
And you're definitely a lot younger than I am.
I think it was like 25, 26
okay,
years old.
That's I'm glad I'm only a week out of surgery, but I think I'm good.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. So where was it at? Like, how did they track a blood clot?
So the surgery was in my right shoulder.
Okay.
Apparently, obviously, when you get cut open, it starts to clot.
Right.
And the clot should stay there until you're healed. Well, it broke off from my shoulder and traveled into my lungs.
Ew.
So they had when I got there, I still didn't know what was going on. And I
Right.
explained, hey, I just came from surgery, not quite sure what's going on. And they like pushed me to the front of the line. Started running all these tests, put an IV in my arm with the iodine, the MRIs, something that I've never seen come out
Yeah, no
except when
doubt.
you have babies, you know,
Right.
so like sonograms, you know,
Yeah.
they're looking for the clot. And it really opened my eyes, man. It changed my life. And
Sure.
at the time, I didn't really think of it like that. I was wondering, like, why me? And honestly, that could have been the best thing that ever happened to me because I would have never found FFL. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
100%. That's crazy how that works. And I mean, that changed your life. Meanwhile, you fought like a big dude who was jacked up on some sort of drugs trying to kill himself with a shotgun. You got to have really long arms to kill yourself with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do that because my arms not long enough. But, and I'm not joking, but but the blood clot changed your life. Like, and I remember when I was 22, I used to be a plumber, like big stuff. We would do like hospitals and schools. And I fell through a skylight, like 25, 28 feet right on my back. And I went back to work, same thing. Cause I had to work. I just liked, I didn't like to sit home, but I couldn't, it hurt, but the pain was so bad. And if that didn't happen to me, I would have never found like the mortgage industry, which led me to the insurance industry, which is just, you know what I mean? Like it's all crazy how that stuff works out. Cause if you never had the blood clot, you might've just went back to work.
Oh, no doubt.
Like seriously, right?
100%.
And how different would your life be? Your kids' lives, Tenali. I mean, that's pretty cool. I like that story.
Man, again, missing tons of things with the family.
Yeah.
Being told, hey, look, there's this event going on. Your vacation's canceled, or, you know, hey, you've got to work overtime.
Right.
Sorry that your daughter's got gymnastics, but you're going to have to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I think a lot of people that are working 9-to-5 jobs, which is what I was, you know, eventually it wears down on all of us.
Right. It does. It does. I think just someone not paying you what you're worth wears down on you.
100%.
You know, it's funny. My nephew got married last June. I think it was June. He's a pastor, and his wife, his newlywed wife, she's still in school, but they're going for like early, childhood education, things like that. And they just bought a house, which is cool. And like this is crazy. I mean, and I really don't even care. But like somebody in her family, like they sent them a mess about that house, and they're like, I bet you all are happy, like you're privileged. And I'm going like, what? And they're like, well, you have family members that are successful, and I'm like going like, dude, how mind-boggling. Like, you don't know, like, the sacrifices we've tried to do, and, like, the sacrifice you've made, Ryan, to, missing small, and to, listen, when you have kids, you don't want to miss anything, right? Nothing.
Right.
I mean, I didn't want to miss anything, and me and Sean fought all the time. Sean missed everything. That's why he's a lot further along than I am. I missed some things, but nowhere near as many as I should have. But it's when you get to where you're trying to get to, it makes it all worth it. But it's funny as people's perspective, like, it's not entitlement. It's a lot of work.
No doubt.
You've deserved everything you've gotten. And when you came to us, I just know, like, if y'all don't know Ryan, when they started, you worked night shift still.
Mm-hmm.
You and Thad, y'all would go 12 to 8 or 12 to 7?
Yeah.
Or 11 to 7.
Yeah.
11 to 7
11
shift,
to
right?
7:30, yeah.
And then you would come right to the office, and y'all would dial. And then you would go home at like 7, sleep for an hour and a half, if that, and then go back to work. Y'all did that for like 5 months. Well, you did that for like 4 or 5 months. That bounced. He was like, I'm not doing this. I can sell insurance. I'm like, and Mike was freaking out. Remember, he's like, Dad, quit. I'm like, okay, it is. Like, did you tell him to quit? He's like, no. I'm like, then it's not on you.
Yeah.
Like, he was convicted. So, but y'all worked more than anybody. That's why you grew so fast. Now, like, and I think, and this is a cycle that everybody goes through, right? You start making money, more money than you've ever made, and then you kind of get comfortable a little bit, which again is like nobody's mad, nobody cares. It's part of how you grow, right? And we all go like, you're not working as hard as you were, and you probably go, yeah, I know, but I'm good. And then you go, wait a minute, I'm not where I want to be. What's the difference? You're not working as hard as you were. Now you're like a maniac again. What happened? So can you walk me through that? Because that's huge. I think a lot of people go through that. especially coming from a career where they making, you know, I don't know, 40, 50, $60,000 a year as a W-2 employee to a sales deal where you can make a lot more if you want to. But then if you don't work really hard, you don't, right? But can you walk me through that process, how you got, you know, how you came out the gate fire, then you kind of just were smoldering a little bit, and now you're absolutely on fire again because of, what brought you to that, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, in the beginning, I had a purpose, okay? The purpose was I knew I needed to get out of law enforcement, and the real reality was I could have went back, but for how much longer was the question. That's what the doctors were saying. If you go back, you're going to tear your shoulder again.
Sure.
If you're lucky, you'll end up here. If not, you'll be dead. That was the reality that I had to face. So, you know, when you sit down and your wife hears those words come out of the doctor's mouth,
right,
it's no sugarcoating that. It ain't like, oh, well, baby, he didn't mean that. You know
right,
what I mean?
Right.
It was like I didn't have a choice. I had to replace the income. I had to go full throttle. I had to go full speed so that, in a sense, I could prove it to myself that I could leave the department.
Yeah.
The first year, again, full steam ahead. There was no stopping me. The money was coming in, leads, you know, and then the transition happened as far as building. And then what I was doing is I was pulling back from what was already working, kind of
right,
like the leads,
yeah,
you know.
Right.
They were like, oh, well, you know, I think I'm a little bit better, you know, getting that ego.
Yeah.
And then it changed, because when you don't buy leads, you not able to make money, and you're not able to help families.
Right.
So, and then now the transition is, look, you know, we are growing, you know, we are blessed because we're opening an office. It's a lot. It's a lot, right? Yeah. So, but the reason why is because I want us to grow, and I want to be able to give back like you have. And now, this year, 2022, guess what? If I don't work, you know, there is no office, there is
right,
no this. So it's like, it's a non-negotiable. I've got to go out there. I've got to hustle. I've got to go serve some families.
Well, and I love that, because honestly, I think that's how Sean did it with us. He didn't really give us a choice, and you know, because he's really good at making you feel not bad, but bad if you don't. Right? Like, you need an office. People need a place to come. And if you go anything else other than okay, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you guys are good. Let's not worry about everybody else, because you guys are good, right? So he would push us to really get uncomfortable, and that's why, like, telling you, I'm like, it should be uncomfortable for a minute, like not 6 months, not a year, I mean, it should be uncomfortable for a minute. Like, it's crazy. Dave Witcher was up here, 3 weeks ago, I think, and like he just you know, is on his way to partnering with Integrity. They're, you know, in the process, all that good stuff. But like he's like, dude, there's months it's not comfortable still, right? Because he's pouring so much back in. Now that'll switch just like that once it all goes down. But it's like, people don't realize there's no good business that's built in like 6 months. You know what I mean? We're not some cryptocurrency company where we get lucky and everybody starts buying this coin, right? So I love that. And I also think you hit Hall of Fame your first year, which is, again, I think you're going to go through stuff in this business. And they used to always talk about you, Ryan, you know, Ryan just never had any issues. I was like, he's going to. Mm-hmm. They're just not here yet. Me personally, I'd rather get punched in the face early and then figure out how to deal with it, rather than never get punched in the face and then all of a sudden you get punched in the face. Because most people won't be able to handle that. Now, you're not a punk, so you absolutely can handle it. But a lot of people, it would have, you know what I mean, it would have killed them, because they were so used to winning all the time, and then they weren't winning, and then they would have blamed everybody else instead of going, you know what, my ego got a little bit too big. I started doing things I probably shouldn't have done, listening to too many different people, right? And that happened. So, dude, that's powerful as hell. Really, I don't know, like, really. It really is.
You know what's crazy?
No.
You know, you brought in that, like, some people, they start off winning at a high level. And the truth of the matter is, until you start, I'm not going to say losing, but in life, right?
Yeah.
So you're like the best football team ever, right? And then you come along and then somebody defeats you. right? That next victory is so sweet.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
That's right.
if you don't know how to lose, you're never going to know how to win.
Very
so, I think in life we go through, I'm going to say small losses, but they're more battles. There are more hurdles that we have to go through in order to, accomplish the main goals and the short-term goals.
Yeah.
So,
well, and so now so like you said, when you came out, you had no choice, right? Not only was your job dangerous, you could have died any night, like especially, and people were not respecting law enforcement, some of them, which is crazy. But so you have that risk, and then the shoulder. So I guess your wife was okay with you going to work, maybe getting shot at every night, because we're in Baltimore.
yeah.
So, you're in like 2 steps from Baltimore. So it's Baltimore, right? But then they add on the shoulder. She's like, I can't, relax. And then you're going, well, I used to go to work every day and risk my life. But you probably felt you had some control over whether you lived or died on your job to an extent. But with the shoulder, you're like, dude, that thing just broke off and floated to my lung.
Yeah.
That's crazy when you know what I mean? Like when there's nothing you could have done differently.
There's a lot of things that go through your mind.
Heck yeah.
Once you have a blood clot, the doctor was talking about keeping me on blood thinners for the rest of my life.
Snap. And you were 25, 26.
So think about this. If I'm ever in a car accident and I ever start to bleed, I will bleed out.
Absolutely.
So you get shot, I'm done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where before, I'm not saying if I got shot, I wasn't going to die, but I'm saying that, you can throw a quick tourniquet on there, apply pressure. So I don't know. It just gave me a different perspective on life.
Dude, that's so wild, man. That really is wild. I could talk to you about probably cop stories all day, but that would defeat the purpose of this. All right. So you're on track to help over 450 families this year. You're already over 150 families helped. The office is starting. How many families did your team help last month?
I think we're a little over 308.
308 families last month.
Yep.
And so here's where we get a little twisted, right? You've been doing this for 2 years, right?
Yep.
It's about 2 full years full time, like right about this time now. Because when did you go full time? It was like April.
April. Yeah.
Okay. So we're 2 full years. Dude, 2 full years into the business with Family First Life, we were at like 110 grand. You know what I mean? Like, and we weren't moving fast, but 300 families after a month after 2 years is still, to me, it's impressive. Yes, there are people that do 100 or 1,000 families a month really fast, but dude, this is a process. It really is. And all those lessons you talked about learning, they build character, and I don't think you can build a business without some struggle, because you're right. Life isn't easy. Neither is business. So what is your goal for the rest of this year? And if you could just kind of walk some people through what you believe the biggest key to success in the field is, because we're still, and I'm still learning, like the recruiting, building aspect of this business. We're constantly learning that, but you really did get the field thing instantly, which is cool, because a lot of people don't. And you made it real easy. And I sat with you in an appointment, and I'm like, dude, this is like, remember we went on, and I'm like, these people just love you. Like, what is it about you? Do you have no training, obviously? Did you do that in the police work too? Like, were you really nice to people all the time, and until it was time not to be nice?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I do in the house that's a little bit similar is in law enforcement. I mean, you always get like a bad, idea sometimes with police. Police are mean. Police are this.
Right.
I treat people with respect until I don't get it. Right. It's the same thing here. Like, if I walk in and I'm there to help your family, the minute that you start playing dumb or, I'm fine or this and that, like, I will challenge you in the house.
Can you give me give me an example of that?
So I will, I was in a house, this was like 2 weeks ago. And the guy was like, yeah, it was weird because he was like in the living room and I'm like in the kitchen and I'm like sitting at the table. He's got a mask on like 6 feet away. And then I started talking to him because that already shows like the psychological effect of what's going on in the house. Like,
right.
It's very standoffish. He's far away. I finally got him to come over, but I was like, so, why am I here? And he was like, well, you're here because you called me. And I'm like, no. I didn't,
Right.
You filled a form out.
Right.
You asked for my help. I can't, I'm here. And he was like, well, I don't know if I need this. And I was like, let me ask you something. If you were to die today, what's that look like for your wife? Right? And he kind of just stepped back, and I said, what do you have in place? And then finally, he started saying no life insurance, or he had maybe like 50,000 of like a 5-year increasing term policy. And I was like, okay,
Right.
like, dude, you're 60 years old. What else do you have? Significant savings. Then he became really standoffish about the significant savings in his account. And I didn't realize that at the time, but it was because him and his wife keep finances separate. Right. And
Okay.
you know what I mean?
And they're married.
Yeah. And they're married.
Okay.
So, but I was like, dude, look, I can't help you. You're gone today. What does that look like? What does she have in place?
Right.
We don't have enough money right now to cover the loan. So she's going to have to pull from something. And I started like, he wasn't budging. And I was like, dude, look, I think you got me confused for a salesperson. Okay. I said, I'm an underwriter. My job is to put the bigger picture in place so that when something happens, like, your family's going to be okay.
Right.
So when I said that and I started packing up, that's when he started opening up. So I think it's very important to add value and, again, make it real.
Sure.
Because nobody wants to be sold. People like to be helped.
They do. I agree with that. Well, you shoved your chips in the middle. You were packing up. You were leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And then a guy's like, well, he's not playing around. And here's what's crazy. This is so funny because if you're brand new, I would never tell you to go, why am I here? Because it's like, you get stupid comments because you called me. But how you followed it up was, no, knock it off, essentially.
Yeah.
Knock it off. You filled out a form. Like, stop being a jerk. You didn't say all that, but you said all of that without saying all that, which is pretty cool. And you've probably done, like, and that's the thing where people like Ryan who just get it and aren't afraid to challenge people, they can almost say whatever they want because you really do want to help them. You're not going to let them say anything stupid because you're just going to call them out on it, right?
And at the end of the day, when it's over, they're calling me, let me know their policy is there.
Right.
Like, it's like,
and they love you.
Yeah. It's like
they don't want to punk. Seriously. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, if somebody's doing anything for me, if they come in my house and they're weak, they're not weak. If they're not helping me, I don't care if you're fixing a toilet, doing my roof. I don't care what you're doing. If I think you're a punk, I'm not letting you help me because that means if you're not going to stand up to me and help me and tell me, like, you're the professional, right? If I'm coming to you for help and you don't tell me the truth, bro, you're never going to go to bat for me if I need you for something, right? So that's probably why people love you. I love that. Okay, so you guys are rolling. You're recruiting like crazy. Your social media is blowing up. What is your hashtags, handles on all the social media stuff?
All right. So for our team, FFL HAV, and then Facebook, obviously my name, Ryan Urbanski, Instagram, Ryan __ Urbanski. You know what's great is we're starting to come together as a team.
Yeah.
And I think that is the fun part.
Heck yeah.
We're coming together. I'm to a point now where I love sharing. I love seeing people win.
Right.
And, you asked me what my personal goal was. I'm just going to keep running the appointments, and I already know that, like you said, well over 450 because I'm not going to stop. But now my goal is to see more people, regardless of whether they're on my team, whether they're not. I want to see people to be able to impact more families so we can stop adding and we can start multiplying. And I think that's where it gets fun.
Dude, I love that. All right. So you're high. If you want to come work with us, dude, I would work with you any day of the week. A, you got a little crazy in you, which I like. B, you work your ass off. And C, you just really care about people. So I love that about you. Can you lead-wise, how many leads do you get a week? Number-wise, because to me, it doesn't matter what I'm buying if I have enough.
I run right around 30 appointments, so I'm getting probably about 60, 65. Obviously, I'm doing all direct mail, final expense, mortgage protection.
Okay. But you've called CRM leads.
Oh yeah.
So all right. Yeah. So take the direct mail out of it because you can't come in the gate and use direct mail. If you were calling CRM leads, how many leads would you get to run 30 appointments?
I would probably get anywhere between probably 100 to 150.
Okay.
And I would dial like I did in the beginning.
That's right. Because that's what you guys did in the beginning.
Yeah, we didn't have direct mail. You know what's crazy? I didn't even know what direct mail was until probably about 6 months into the business.
No doubt.
You're like, yeah, buy these. Okay. Buy them on Friday. They were there because they were dripping. There was no CRM.
Right.
It was Facebook leads.
Yeah.
And, hey, somebody reached out, wanted help.
That's right.
Called them, set the appointment, went to help them.
It's not that complicated.
No.
Dude, I love it. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Guys, please follow them on Instagram. Their handle's up here. Urbanski is going to be a huge part of FFL. I promise you. You're striving integrity, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The grand opening May 2nd. We'll put the address. We'll send the address. Excuse me. We'll send the address out. So y'all, if you're local, if you're around, come to that. It's going to be a huge event. The office looks great.
Thanks.
Just keep on, bro. Keep on moving, bro. We're proud of you.
Let's go. 2022 is the year.
That's right. All right, guys. Until next time. Thanks for joining. Make it a big week. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Ryan. Have a good one.
Thank you, brother.
You got it.